Alright, this is my faithful set of graphites, or one of them. I've got 3 sets or 6 sticks that I swap around with different sets that I've had for a few years now. And they need to be restrung. Well, first I just want to talk about the method that's used to string this set at the moment. Yeah, I bought some rope. Last time I was doing some stringing, I bought some rope that was a bit too thick, basically, and the knots, well, wouldn't fit inside. So I went with a very, very simple setup on this one, which is literally, look, the cord comes through, comes out the top hole, and then I just tied a knot thick enough that it doesn't come back through when you pull it. That's literally the simplest way you can string a set of nunchuck. I just call that a jam knot, because it's a knot and it jams when you pull it. Yeah, it's a perfectly decent setup really, apart from when, I don't know if you can see too well, that cord is, you know, worn all the way through. The red set's my oldest set, so that's got the smoothest top, so that doesn't wear the string down very much. But this black set's a bit newer and it's still a bit sharper, so it wears the string through a lot quicker, so that always goes at the black end. Yeah, and this one is pretty much dead now, so... Oh no, more life than I expected. Fuck it, I'll cut it. But I was using them earlier with my mate and I was starting to get a bit worried that they were just going to snap and fly off, so I thought I would take the opportunity to restring them and also show you a stringing method. I use almost a different stringing method every time. I've got a few that I'm quite fond of, but I like to experiment and see how different things affect it. This time I'm using an old bootlace taken from a pair of boots that aren't used anymore, so better to recycle than just let them go to waste. Alright, I'll do the red stick first, okay. Go in the top, and then you just need some sort of pokey thing. This is an earbud cleaner, a cotton bud for cleaning ears, you know what I mean. So you poke it through so it goes in and out one side, and then you poke it back through the bottom hole, so it comes out the other side again. Good. And then you use the cotton bud to poke this bit of string through, which can be a little bit fiddly, so I might fast forward this bit if it takes too long. Normally I actually use a set of tweezers to do this, but I couldn't find a set tonight, and my parents were already gone to bed and I couldn't be asked to wake my mum up to steal her tweezers to restring my nunchucks, so I'm doing it with a cotton bud. But I've strung sets of nunchucks using pretty much anything as a bit of pokey before to get this done. Like, did it in a forest just using a bit of stick off the floor, so it's not exactly scientific. The end came off the cotton bud. Alright, so yeah, then you end up with that. It comes down, it loops out one side, it goes through, and it comes back. Okay, and then if you just feed a bit more of the lace through, so we've got a bit to work with. Okay, so you can see you've got a nice clear loop on each side. I hope you can see that alright. Yeah, okay, good. Alright, and then basically I go through that loop there. So, okay, I'll try. So yeah, this lower bit of string that's come out there, you go through the loop, and then you tie it to itself. So you don't actually tie it to the loop, you go through the loop and back round, and then tie it to itself so the loop can still pull through the knot, like that. It's difficult to do this so that my hands don't get in the way. But can you see, it comes through the bottom and then it's tied, goes through the loop and ties to itself, so the loop can still pull through. Yeah? And that basically is a simple kind of slip knot setting. Oh, I don't even know if slip knot's the proper term. It's a knot which this cord can tie through. The advantage to it is, on a bootlace like this, is that it will go inside and the knot will sit in the head there because the slip pulls through, and the knot will sit right in the middle there with the cord coming up. So you have no string sticking out. I mean, at the moment that little bit of tail is sticking out, but I'll get some scissors at the end and cut that off. But yeah, that pulls through. You get it nice and strong so it won't shift at all. And then, yeah, basically you repeat on the other end. So I don't really need to film that, do I? It's exactly the same thing, slide it through. The only, well, I'll turn it off now and then I'll come back to show you how you have to kind of jiggle it a bit to get the right length that you want, because obviously you tie the knot and then you pull it through, so it can sometimes be a little bit off. So I'll set the other one up, then I'll come back to do that bit. Alright, well that one poked through first time, so that was nice and simple. Okay, basically, when you've got it again with the loop coming through, then going back round, so you've got the bit of string and the loop on the same sides as each other, then, yeah, you pull it through to get them quite close together, and then pull that one through, so you're pulling the slack through, so you're trying to leave a small loop there, and then you pull that one round, and then just like before. Okay, and if, like, for this demonstration, I've pulled it through so they're, you know, almost identically touching that. And then if I pulled that up, that'd be a very short chord, that'd be like Pro Chuck's chord. My preference at the moment is for a little more than that, so I want to pull a bit back, you know. Okay, and then we go through and tie it to itself again. You're not actually tying it to the loop, you go through the loop and bring the cord back to tie to itself. And basically I don't pull the second knot too tight, because you want to try and pull it through and see how much the cord ends up at once you've pulled it through. And if it's more than you want, then obviously you need to pull it back out and rejig it all through to get more, you know, you pull more of that cord through, however much more you want. And then you pull it through to that knot, and you pull it round to this side, and then the bit that's fiddly is you have to undo the knot that you've done and feed that little extra bit that you want removed all the way through to the other side of the knot, and then tighten the knot up again. And then jam it out again and go, maybe I want it a little bit shorter than that still. So again, use that bit of string to pull the knot back out, pull through the slack that you want to get rid of, pull the knot further up the loop. So that's the advantage, to me, of using a kind of slidey slip knot. One, it fits back inside the head, so there's no protruding knot on the sides to disturb your grip. Although, like I said, the last set I've had with the jam knots on the outside, I got used to having that knot on one side of each stick very, very quickly, so, and sometimes you could even kind of tweak it a little bit for extra grip. So it wasn't really a bad thing, but it's kind of nice to have it smoother without them. Anyway, and yeah, so the advantage of using like a slip knot system like this is that you don't have the knot sticking out, and also you can adjust it like this. You can keep pulling it back out and fiddling with it a little bit more until you have it how you want it. Okay. I think that's roughly how long I want to try experimenting with this time. It's a little bit longer than, you know, if you say a traditional setup sort of should hang neatly over either side of the wrist, this hangs neatly over sort of 2 fingers worth. You know, if maybe like Pro Chucks don't even really hang neatly around the thumb, this is a kind of 2-finger setup, which is still definitely, you know, short corded chucks, but it's not quite as short as the Pro Chucks, which means you have a little bit more room to work. Alright, well, yeah. Okay, let's grab some scissors and just nip off that bit poking out there, cut that there. Oh, nearly cut my bed, but anyway. Alright, well that is, yeah, a very simple 1-chord slip knot setup. Alright, now let's quickly test out our new setup. Well, they seem to run alright to me. Yeah, I mean, just a little bit longer than the last ones I tried. and this bootlace is a little bit thinner, so it has the potential to bite a bit more and bounce if you get them wrong, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. I think I'm pretty happy with that, so I'll keep this set up until the string breaks. Then I'll do it again, something different.